So, forgive and move on. It's not easy. It's an art. It's a process. It's something that's necessary for psychological growth. You do this for yourself, not for others. Um, you don't forgive people externally. You don't say anything to them. It's an internal process. It's a process inside your head. It's a dialogue between you and yourself. Um, how to let go? You have to realize exactly the nature of life, the nature of you, the nature of our development. And so once you understand and have this new philosophy of life, new concepts, um, you need time to look at yourself, look at others, look at the universe around you. You're part of that, and you're not different than any other piece of the universe. That's the beauty of living in a way that you're connected with things around you. Um, what we were all exposed to some sort of trauma, some sort of uncertainty, some sort of anxiety, fear, some sense of insecurity throughout our lives. The earlier the trauma, the more uh, it becomes deeply ingrained in our head. If you were exposed to trauma very early in your lives, that doesn't go away easily because the brain is still in the process of development. The brain is very immature. And for us who deal with kids, we have to be fully aware of that, that exposing the kids to trauma early in their lives, sometimes we do it, we're not aware of it. Simple things, yelling, screaming, abandonment, um, not understanding their emotions, not responding to their needs, will have a long lasting effect throughout their lives. And that probably happened to some of us. Empathic failure is an example of that. Lack of validation is another example of that. We're not talking even about severe psychological trauma. We're not talking about abuse. We're talking about subtle things that happened in our past that could have contributed to misperceptions of ourselves and also misperceptions of our lives and others. All this process was built in and it becomes hardwired if it happened very early in our lives. And we all have been exposed to some sort of that shapes our personality because we did not have perfect parenting. We did not have perfect childhood. Even those of us who had perfect parents, sometimes perfect parents harm their children as well. Um, so, what do we do once you're 18 and above? You already you have been already exposed to multiple experiences and you start to work on yourself. The first thing you do is number one, a full sense of responsibility and a decision you make that from now on, you, as an adult now, will be fully responsible for everything that happened to you. You're going to tell me, but I can't control what happened to me. You're going to be responsible for your response to everything that happened to you. So what will happen after that, the events that happen to us does not mean a lot. The events do not mean a lot by themselves. The meaning of the event to you means a lot. That's what it is. So it's not the event, it's not the stress, it's the meaning of the stress to you. And usually, what happened to you later in your life as an adult symbolizes and connects with an earlier event that if you did not forgive the past, if you did not let go of the past, you will find yourself repeating what happened to you in your childhood or what happened to you 10 years ago. The process of repetition compulsion, because you tend to repeat what you're familiar with. There is a connection there. So if something happened to you today and you reacted angrily or you reacted in a different way, I want to ask you the first question that I ask you is, did something similar to that happen in your childhood? Were you reacting to what's going on now, or were you reacting to past experiences? And we see this a lot in relationships. So you don't deal with the event that happened today. You don't interact with the person, and whatever happened today, that's not, you're reacting to the person. You're reacting to the event based on a previous event, and you're repeating it. And you already made the assumption that this experience will be similar to the previous experience. If you had previous experiences that were very traumatic in the past, you will see it everywhere you go. Even if people are trying to help you, even if people are neutral, even if people are not even attacking you, you will see the attack coming. You become very defensive. You will have this posture of defensiveness in every interaction you have in your life. You're going there with this armor around you that you cover yourself with because you're expecting the danger. Why do you expect the danger? Because of the danger that happened to you in childhood. Why do you expect the mistreatment? Because you were mistreated before. Why do you expect the disrespect? Because you were disrespected before. Why do you will be just a magnet attracting all these negative feelings that you were exposed to in early experiences in your life. So understanding that connection, so when you see yourself reacting to a situation based on your assumptions, you have to ask yourself that, is this true? Is this a fact? Is there evidence that my feelings are true? Or am I reacting to a previous my previous experience? So you're dealing with X and you're actually dealing with Y. Y was a previous relationship that you had before. You're now dealing with X and not Y. But your brain is programmed based on Y that happened long time ago. We all do that. The differences between us as humans on a spectrum, as I always say, it is quantitative, not qualitative. It's not some people do this and some people don't do that. No, it's how much do we deal with our lives? How much of that do we deal? It's the difference between us in the how muchness, is how much is the quantity, not the quality. No, we all have been exposed to some sort of traumas. The sense of insecurities is universal to the human mind. And the way we deal with our insecurities is determined by our past experiences. And that's a learned behavior. You learn to cope with life a certain way. And if you want to change, you need to start the process. Number one is the process of cleaning your head, cleaning your mind, and you need to deprogram your head and reprogram it again. The first step in recovery is awareness. The first step is awareness, to be aware of what's going on and to be aware of your internal world. And then the second step is acceptance of life as an unfair entity. Life is unfair. Accept it to be happy. Don't expect life to be fair. And you start by doing small things here and now, the here and now, to prove to yourself that you're capable of success. Very small things. Then you're capable of changing the pattern in your head. Don't rush into something big. People who rush into something big to counteract what's going on, to prove that they are wrong, they end up doing the same thing. You see this a lot in relationship. Now I found the right person who will not abuse me, and you rush into that quickly because you need a quick solution. There's no quick solutions. There is no magic solutions. There is no quick solutions. Lower your expectations. And if you start by the here and now, today, what you're going to do with your life, day by day, minute by minute, over time, when you improve your self-esteem a little bit, when you improve your self-confidence a little bit, when you improve your belief in yourself, that you are capable of making today a little bit better than yesterday. It's an internal dialogue. We'll talk about internal world that you work on. You work on your internal, forget about the people. Once you start working on that and you start seeing that you're capable of making small successes in your life, and you're capable of change, and you're no longer gonna be afraid of the universe around you, because you know when bad things happen, you're gonna be able to deal with it. You're gonna be able to respond to it. You will be able to, how are you gonna respond next time? Not to react. There is a difference between responding to a situation and reacting to it. The reaction is the lower brain reaction, is the gut, is the basic brain function, is the snake brain. You attack me, I will attack you. You will hit me, I will hit you. You hurt me, I have to revenge. That's the natural response of the basic brain. The higher brain, you have to wait, take a minute to think, and realize that there is a story behind the story. There is a meaning behind the events, and I have an internal world that misinterprets the information. I need to work on it. And you also have your internal world inside you. So you go at a deeper level, and you need to take a deep breath. A deep breath first before you can respond. Sometimes you don't have to respond. Sometimes this gut feeling inside you, that sympathetic, that adrenaline rush inside you, you need to calm it down, not to act on it. You need to take a minute. You need to know that time is the best cure for a lot of ills. Write this down. Time is the best cure. So sometimes I get many questions. Well, how do I respond to this? What do I do in this situation? Sometimes I say, let time takes its course first. Let time takes its course. Just let time. Time is the best cure for a lot of ills. Just time. The problem, we tend to react quickly, prematurely, and break things prematurely. If we wait, yes, time is the best cure for a lot of problems. Just always remember that. If you see this gut feeling, you want to react, you want to revenge, just take time. You might be wrong. That split of a second moment that you need to spend to be aware of your internal world. And remember these things and talk out loud. Talk out loud. Talk to yourself. There's something called thought stopping technique. Tell yourself, shut up. Tell your brain, shut up. I'm not gonna let you control me anymore. Just talk to yourself. Just make sure that nobody's around you when you say that. So you need to have an internal dialogue between you and your lower brain to tell your brain, shut up, don't react, and go and separate yourself from the situation and try to distract yourself so you don't have this kind of quick reaction. That's very basic brain function. The basic brain function is the snake brain wants to attack because it's threatened. That snake brain wants to attack because the snake is threatened or the snake is hungry. These are basic. There's no cognition. There's no thinking. It's just gut reaction. You hit me, I will hit you to revenge or to protect myself because I am threatened all the time. If you were threatened a long time ago, you will be threatened all the time. The more when you work on your own inner peace and security, and with that, there is a process of forgiveness and letting go. Okay, when I started to think about this video, first I thought I would write, forgive your parents and move on. This is the word, the sentence I always say, forgive your parents and move on. Then I realized that you need to forgive yourself first before you forgive your parents. So first I wrote, forgive yourself and your parents and move on. Then I said, let me make the title just about forgiveness and letting go in general and moving on. Because you have to start a process of general forgiveness. You have to forgive life. You have to forgive many events that happen to you. You have to realize that many things sometimes just happen. I told you in another video a long time ago that my best bumper sticker that I saw on a car is shit happens, have a nice day. I love that. That should be a philosophy of life. Shit happens, have a nice day. If you really take that information, metabolize it, and becomes a part of you, I think you'll be more relaxed in life. So when something bad happened to you, accept this is part of life. Shit happens. That's it. Don't overanalyze it. Don't take it personal. Don't blame yourself. Just it happened. A lot of things happen by chance. We call it the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis in statistics means the rule is things just happen by chance. If you want to find connection or find correlation, you need to prove this hypothesis wrong. So when A happened with B, it doesn't mean that there is any relationship between them. And also, if A happened with B, if A happened with B 2 times or 3 times, it doesn't mean that A caused B. We know very well that correlation doesn't mean causation. So you have number 1 to prove correlation, number 2 to prove causation. People who study statistics, they know that. So things happen by chance. So you met somebody and he looked at you a certain way and something happened to you. It could be absolutely by chance that the accident that you had nothing to do with what happened before it. To prove that there is a correlation between the two, there is some statistical method to prove that. To prove causation, that A caused B, that's a totally different level. So there's understand there are 3 levels. What happened is things or happen by chance, number 1. Things just happen. Shit happened by chance. to prove that shit happened specifically to you. There's a correlation between your internal world and the shit that happened to you. You have to prove it statistically. To prove the shit that happened to you is because of this, that's a different level. You have to prove multiple times of things. Now, what will happen if you find a correlation or if you find the causation? If you find it, you need to work on yourself to change that. Somebody wrote earlier that you are responsible for 150% of what happened to you. What does that mean? It means you take full responsibility for 100% of what happened to you, and you take 50% of how other people treat you. In an unfair world, that shit happen a lot in it. So what what the outcome you can get, what's the result that you can get, the best humanly possible outcome. And sometimes that best humanly possible outcome is not very satisfactory to you, is below your expectations, is below your dreams, is below your ambitions. You need to lower your expectations. And what you get, that's the best possible outcome I could get today. That's how it is. That philosophy of life, if you understand that, that way of thinking, whatever you want to call it, if you just live one day at a time, understand your internal world, understand that shit happened, understand that your past is not your responsibility, that the future is not your responsibility. What's your responsibility right now? So my responsibility is try to get out of this moment that I am talking to you the best possible outcome, to get the best possible video, to have some effect, so can maybe and leave some impact on people. So I'm focusing on this video now, this moment I am interacting with you, and you do the same thing. So you sit on this video watching me, try to get the best possible outcome from this video, this moment, this interaction that we have. What will happen the next moment, we have no idea. That's it. I am in a moment now that I am in to get the best performance ever, not the perfect performance. I don't expect this video to be like anything, to go viral. I'm not expecting that. What if this video goes viral? It could be by chance, null hypothesis. So if this video goes viral, I know it's by chance. That's the null hypothesis. Does that mean that the next video have to go viral? No. You see people, one video will go viral, the next video doesn't get a lot of views. And that leads to a loss. So if one video goes viral, if one video get a lot of views, it doesn't mean that the next video will get a lot of views. If you are successful in one thing, it doesn't mean the next one you will be successful at. Just lower your expectation and be extremely realistic so you don't get frustrated. People get frustrated when their expectations are much higher than the reality. If your expectations are much higher than your reality, you need to either improve your reality or lower your expectations. You have to be extremely realistic. Don't wait for miracles. It's nice to have hope, it's nice to have ambition. There's an older video I made, be ambitious, but don't forget to be grateful. You can make another video, be ambitious, but don't forget to be realistic. Be realistic. I see a lot of problems with people. People want to fix their past. People are too ambitious. People expectations are too high. People are quick to respond. People want the quick fix. People are looking for miracles. People are looking for quick solutions. The people who do that, they will be frustrated. But you're going to tell me, but somebody won the lottery and this happened to them. But I know somebody took those pills and he was cured. Believe me, miracles don't happen in life. Yes, some cases we call them as statistics outliers. The outliers. It could happen. How many people win the lottery? One in 300 million, those mega lotteries. Now, if you win the lottery, are you going to be happy? No. If you're miserable, you win the lottery, you're going to become a rich, miserable person. There is evidence of that. You'll be very happy for 6 months. If you win the lottery, you'll be happy for 6 months. And after that, you're going to go to the previous level of happiness and satisfaction in life, just in a different way, living in a mansion. You're going to be in a, I know you might tell me, but I prefer to be a miserable person living in a mansion and driving a Ferrari than to be a poor, miserable person. I tell you, no, it's not a big difference. Because you don't have the mansion and the Ferrari, you think that misery is misery. There may be another person living in a small house with an old car who's very happy and satisfied with his life. We're all gonna die at age, whatever life expectancy is. So if you feel that you're gonna marry the most beautiful woman in the world, but you're miserable, you're gonna be a miserable man married to a beautiful woman, and you're gonna make her miserable, of course. It's about working on yourself. Yes, misery is misery, whether you're a rich, miserable person or a poor, miserable person. You need to work on your internal world. I see a lot of jokes about that, and the people say that it's better to be a depressed person in the Bahamas than a depressed person in a small town, crowded town, or something like that. But depression is depression. Does it make a difference? You expect it this way, but the reality is, even if I put you in that situation, if you don't work on your internal world, internal representation of the objects, all that process that we spoke about multiple times, you're not going to be happy, even if you have a lot of things. You will be an unhappy person who have a lot of things. That's exactly what you will be. Now, so because there is no reality, there is an internal representation of reality. So the meaning of things, the meaning of things. So we need to clean that internal world. You need a process of cleanliness. And that process of cleanliness, we call it forgiveness and letting go. For you, out of selfishness, I'm not talking about morality here. I'm not talking about you have to be a nice person in society. I'm talking about for your own selfishness, for your own best interest. Clean what's inside your skull. Work on a process of cleanliness, letting go and forgiveness. Letting go and forgiveness. Not easy if you feel yourself, you perceive yourself as a failure. If you perceive yourself as a failure, whether you're a failure or not, that might be true. You might not be successful in life. But I'm sure you're doing things that is defined as success. As simple as you wake up in the morning, you make your bed, you make breakfast, you eat, you're healthy, you're breathing. That at least that's a level of success in life. You don't have major illnesses, you're able to walk, you're able to move your hands and legs, and you're breathing, you're not on a ventilator. These are simple, the basic level of success in life, that you're alive. We can build on that. We can build on that. We can build on that. So if your perception of the world is a perception of failure, you need to change that. And then you start to take small steps to the best way. You're not going to change your internal world until you convince yourself that you are effective. You are effective. You have to prove to yourself that you can do certain things. You don't wait for things to happen to you. To take matters in your own hands. Simple things. If you prove to yourself, you prove to your brain that you're capable of doing small successes in life. That's important. If you're not doing that, the whole negative circuitry in your brain will be going on and on and on and on. We're going to go back. Yes, you need to have that sense of personal effectiveness. And thanks for the people who helped me with these phrases. Yes, if you don't have that sense of effectiveness, personal effectiveness, psychological effectiveness, okay, your world will be messed up, your internal world. Do things. And if I tell you, do things to help somebody else that makes you feel better. It's not just do things to yourself. Do things to help somebody else. This video I'm making now make me feel better. What do I get from it? I get it that few people, I have some positive impact on them. They tell me that. Do things. Yes, do something. Do something to yourself, do something for other people. Small things for your own sake. Without doing that, without letting your actions be ahead of you, that's the best step, the first step. Without that, believe me, you're going to be stuck. You're going to surrender to your own past, your negativity. You're not going to be able to forgive. You're not going to be able to let go. Doing things will improve your mood, will improve your self-confidence, will make the process of forgiveness and letting go easier because you feel more secure. You try to get some sense of safety and security within yourself that you're doing something, yes, and make that a habit. Yes, keep doing things. Keep doing things. And I told you about the steps that I make every day, that I cannot sleep at night without finishing my 10,000 steps. I have an app on my phone, and that circle has to close before I go to bed. My goal was higher, but I cannot. For the last almost 2.5 years, I'm close to getting like 600-700 days. The circle has to close. That give me a sense of personal effectiveness. That when I do something, when I want to do something, I do it. I do it and try to do that. Find something else. It doesn't have to be steps. It can be something. But you have to stick to it and do it every day. And you have to respect yourself. This idea of self-respect, you do it for yourself and you respect yourself, and sense of commitment within yourself. Believe me, we put a lot of energy on other people. We put a lot of emphasis on other people, how they treat us. If you take that energy back on you, and don't waste your time, don't waste your energy, don't waste your feelings on other people and how they treat you. Just put it on yourself and do things. You will find at that time that people are much less important than you thought. People around you are much less important than you thought. If you put a lot of emphasis on people because you want to avoid working on yourself, keep working on yourself. Be effective, do something, and realize that this will help you forgive your parents and move on, forgive your past and move on, forgive yourself and move on. You have to start the process of forgiveness and separate your past through that process of forgiveness and letting go. Very important. Let go and work on yourself. It will come back. It will haunt you again. You know when it will haunt you again? At the moments of failure. At the moments of failure, the low moments in your life, the past will haunt you again. Here we go again. I told you I am a failure. I told you I cannot do it. And these are the moments that you need to stand up and go and do things again. And as you always remind me, life is exactly like the stock market curve. When you have a moment of failure, a low moment, open Google stock market curve. When the stock market goes up, it doesn't go up like that. It goes up like this. That's life. Always keep it in front of you. The stock market curve symbolizes life. When you go up like this. So at some point, you're going to go down. Life is unfair. Life is unpredictable. Shit happen. Have a nice day. You need to write it down somewhere. Remind yourself with that. Remind yourself of the reality of life. That's the reality of life. It happened. And it's a struggle. And don't forget to enjoy the journey itself. That journey, enjoy it. Enjoy the journey, not the destination. Do you remember the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset? The people who have fixed mindset, they are always interested in the destination. And they define themselves by whatever destination they are going to, or they have been going to, or something like that. Yeah, the people with growth mindset, they enjoy the process. They enjoy the process itself. The process itself, they enjoy it, including the falls, including the challenges, including the problems, including the stress. They know it's not going to be permanent. They deal with the stress differently than people who are unable to deal with it. The people who are unable to deal with the stress for them is a disaster. We talked about how people find in every opportunity a challenge, and people who find in every challenge an opportunity. That's the difference. Nature of life. The nature of life. Yes, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Fixed mindset, I need to be rich, I need to have this type of life. The growth mindset, I need to continue to grow, continue to learn. I need to be better every day. I may reach that goal, or I may even reach a higher goal. I don't know. If you ask people who were very successful in life, did you know that you're going to reach that? No. They wanted to be better. You want to be better today than yesterday. It's the act of forgiveness, the act of letting go, the act of personal effectiveness, and the act of living one day at a time. I hope to see you soon. Continue to work on yourselves, continue to grow, and continue to enjoy that process of growth. Thank you very much. Take care.